Good day everyone, my name is Alex and welcome to a new review. For today I have another smartwatch from China called the Domino DM368. First of all, this watch is running Android 5.1, so yes, a full version of Android 5.1, just like you would find on a smartphone, for example. Aside from that, we have a MediaTek 6580 CPU. This is a quad-core CPU. We also have 512 megabytes of RAM and 8 gigs of internal storage. Starting with a very quick unboxing, the watch comes in a black box. We don't really have any information on the box, and of course inside the box you're gonna find the watch itself, you're gonna find the user manual, a screen protector and a cable for charging. Now that charger has a magnet inside and it attaches to the back of your watch. However, that magnet is quite weak, so it's very easy to get that disconnected. So you're gonna have to place the watch with the face down to actually charge it. And since we are talking about charging, the watch has a 400 mAh battery inside, and like most smartwatches, the battery life sucks. So you're kind of gonna be able to make it through an entire day, but it really depends how you use the watch, because if you get a whole bunch of notifications and you constantly look at the screen, well, you're gonna have to charge it twice throughout the day. Aside from the scratch resistant glass that's covering the screen, the watch is pretty much made out of plastic. So the entire watch, the back, the front, the sides, pretty much everything it's made out of plastic. And we also have some rubber straps. The rubber straps do feel nice and soft to touch and the quality is decent. On the back of the watch there is a heart rate monitor, and I checked this heart rate monitor and it does seem to be fairly accurate. Now the downside to it is the fact that it doesn't constantly measure your heart rate, so every time you actually want to get your heart rate you're gonna have to open the app and do it manually. Aside from that, there is a little plastic door on the back of the watch that can be removed, so you can actually insert a SIM card. And yes, this phone can connect to the 3G networks, and of course I wanted to check out and see the speeds over 3G and over Wi-Fi, and the speeds that I got are rather good. Keep in mind that the Wi-Fi speeds will be different depending how far you are from the router. And of course I've also checked the GPS unit inside this watch, and I have to say that it does connect to the GPS fairly quickly, much faster than a whole bunch of other watches that I've seen in the past, and you can even use Google Maps. Keep in mind that the screen is very small, so it's gonna be quite difficult to actually use Google Maps. What I like the most about this watch is the fact that we have a round screen. So we have a 1.39 inches Amoled display that has awesome viewing angles, and it does get quite bright. So I have to say that it is one of the most beautiful screens that I've seen on any smartwatches. It may be the exact same screen that they used on the other smartwatch that I had on the channel maybe 3 days ago or 4 days ago. So yeah, the screen looks very good. And on top of that, the screen sensitivity is pretty good as well. So yes, you could type a message, you could type anything in the browser on the little watch there. It's gonna take you a while to actually get used to those small letters, but yes, you can definitely type on it. And even though you can type on it, sometimes it could be difficult depending where you are. However, you can dictate pretty much anything to the watch because we have Android 5.1, so we basically have access to Google. So you can just dictate anything that you need typed, and the phone or the watch, however you want to call it, can do that easily. For watch faces, we do have a whole bunch of watch faces available. However, we don't have as many as we've seen on that previous watch that I had on the channel about 3-4 days ago. And the downside to this watch is the fact that we can't actually download more. So I haven't found any place where you could actually download some more watch faces for this. Some of the watch faces have some features to show you, like the steps and the battery life and the heart rate. But I haven't found any watch faces that would show you the weather or anything like that. And unlike many other smartwatches from China, we actually get notifications on this watch. I actually had to turn the notifications off because I was just getting so many of them. So yes, there is an app that works with your phone. It's called the WeWear, and there is a link that you can get from the watch itself. And after you install that on your smartphone, make sure that you actually restart the phone and restart the watch, and then you're gonna start getting notifications. So pretty much any notification that shows up on your smartphone, it's gonna come on the watch. So that's a pretty important feature for some of you, because you wanna use this as a smartwatch, not just as a watch. Software-wise, we have Android 5.1 running on this watch, but keep in mind that this version of Android, it's not actually optimized for smartwatches. So this is mostly done for smartphones. And on a smartphone, you actually have a rectangle as a screen. With this one, we have a round screen. So some apps are actually difficult to use because we have a round screen and we don't get to see the entire app. Leaving that aside, you can still use the browser if that's what you need. You can download any games from the Google Play Store and you can basically play those games on the watch here. Keep in mind that the screen is very small, so it is a bit difficult to actually do that. But you have access basically to every single app available in the Play Store. The watch also has that feature where the screen comes on whenever you actually look at the watch. Unfortunately, this works, I would say, 7 out of 10 times, so it doesn't always work, and it could be annoying sometimes to actually do this like 3-4 times in order for the screen to come on. And on top of that, we don't even get to see the watch face that we have selected on the watch. So if you don't touch the watch for 2-3 minutes, your watch face is actually replaced by this battery saving watch face that doesn't really have any information on it. Using the watch is fairly simple. If you swipe right, you're gonna see whatever notifications you have available. If you swipe up, you're gonna see the weather. And if you swipe down, you can turn on, off the Wi-Fi, see the battery life and so on. Now, if you swipe left, again, you're gonna get into your apps and pretty much everything that's installed on the watch. And you can just scroll up or down to look for whatever apps that you may be interested in. You're also gonna find the settings app somewhere in there. And like most Android devices, we do have a lot of settings in there, and you can change languages, you can see whatever information you want to see about the watch. Because we only have 512 megabytes of RAM, the watch is not the absolute fastest. So if you have a whole bunch of apps running in the background, the watch will kind of close most of them regardless. But yeah, this is not the absolute fastest watch out there, and I wish they would optimize the software a bit better so it doesn't lag, because it does lag a bit every now and then. And of course, if you want to make phone calls, you can even do that. So the speaker is sitting on the back on the left, so it's not actually sitting on your skin, it's sitting just above your skin, and it does get quite loud. However, you have to talk very close to the watch for the other person to actually hear you well. And it's time to conclude this video. So the only downside that I see for this watch is the fact that we don't have a better battery, because if I have to charge this watch twice throughout the day, well, that's gonna be kind of inconvenient. But other than that, we have Wi-Fi, we have access to the Play Store. Of course, the screen is this big, and it's gonna take you a while to actually do any single task that you do, basically, because the screen is so small. But overall, this could replace your smartphone if you're just going away for a couple of days or something like that and you don't want to carry your smartphone. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, press that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.